I think we can start now. Hello, my name is Lily, and I'm from SNIKEYbox marketing team. And right now we are starting a webinar, an automatic and safe way to exchange small items during uncertain times. This webinar is a part of Funding Continuity Initiative. And let me present speakers of today's webinar. It's Hubert Stuczynski and Mateusz they are founders of SNIKEY company, and that offers solutions supporting rental of apartments and cars, including the SNIKEYbox device. They gain experience both in the consulting industry and in running their own businesses in the commercial and IT industries. So today, Mateusz and Hubert will explain where the idea of SNIKEYbox came from and how it supports the automation process of renting vehicles of apartments, and how its use has increased the context of the virus epidemic. So please feel free to write your questions in the YouTube chat during and after webinar. So after the presentation, I will read to Hubert and Mateusz, and they will be able to answer it. So welcome, Hubert and Mateusz. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Lily, thank you for the nice introduction. And my name is Mateusz. This is Hubert. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about contactless and automated exchange of small items. And while it sounds a bit mysterious, I think when we talk to you about our story, it all will clear up how our path went from where we were 2 years ago when we started to now. It all started with a simple idea of facilitating short-term rental markets, so apartments that you rent through Airbnb or booking.com, and we identified the need to help hosts exchange keys with the guests. So at the very beginning, our product was a simple app for restaurants that were our partner points, and the software for hosts, where they clicked and reserved a pickup. The key was already left in the restaurant, so when the guest came to the apartment, he first went to the restaurant nearby and gave a code to the employee, and afterwards received keys, and the hosts received a notification that the guest just checked in. So that was what we started with, and at the very beginning, we didn't really have any hardware. That was our MVP, and we wanted to see how the market is going to react to our product. However, there were a couple of, let's say, challenges for our hosts in our solution. First one was locations of our partner points, where you can pick up those keys, and they were not always as close by to the apartment as the host would wish. Second of all, opening hours. So basically, a restaurant closes, and when the guests are arriving late, well, they don't really have an opportunity to pick up the keys. And obviously, like when employees have to serve clients and also distribute keys, there might be some frictions there as well. So we decided to build a hardware product, SNIKEYbox. So basically, instead of using employees, we could put a SNIKEYbox even downstairs in the building, and guests would basically do the same. Come to the box, put in the code, and the box will open up, and guest takes keys from the box. And from the very beginning, we were thinking about short-term rental market, and we launched the idea, and it was received quite nicely by our clients. However, hardware making is a hard way to do your business if you want to design and produce your own hardware. So obviously, our first version of the box needed a lot of work to be developed to serve the good purpose. And we decided that it would be nice to actually find different solutions to extend our market, so that we can finance the development of the hardware a bit more. And on our path came SNIKEYbox, and a client that needed the same feature, that short-term rental market, but for different purpose, corporate car sharing. And to the challenges in there were basically the same. So in corporate car sharing, there is a parking spot where there are like 20, 30, 50 cars waiting to be reserved by employees for business purposes, for private purposes, but they're always standing in the same place. And basically, all the entire process was already automated, except for the key exchange. So we figured, well, FundingBox is facilitating this this connection between corporate and startups, and we started talking, and we decided that we can make another software. It's called SNIKEY Fleet, that will basically be adjusted to needs of corporate car sharing and our client. And we will modify SNIKEYbox in such a way that it will serve the purpose of automating key exchange. And Hubert right now will tell you a little bit of how the SNIKEY Fleet works.
What about corporate car sharing? It's a very simple idea that we don't think of too often, but once you hear about it, it just seems obvious. Basically, corporate car sharing is in many ways very similar to B2C car sharing, known from the streets or cities. However, it has a few important differences, though. The cars are not picked from the area of the whole city, but from a dedicated particular parking spot, which usually is the company's parking area, and they are used only by the employees of this particular company or the group of companies. They're not available to the free crowd, so as to speak, which limits the amount of people who can use them, but also increases the safety of using them, because they're basically a group of people who are known to the company. The challenges and evolution of SNIKEYbox, when we're thinking about it in terms of adapting it to the car fleet and car sharing, were quite significant. But our business development partner, the company we worked with, the Plus Flota, was an expert in automated corporate car sharing solutions. So we figured out a way to learn from their experience, bring our own experience to the table, and make a joint project together. And we are responsible for automating the car keys exchange for the bigger picture of corporate car sharing. Well, what needs to be incorporated in this process? There are a few crucial parts which we had to figure out how to automate. Those are the availability of cars and keys 24/7, so they cannot be limited by the working hours of the office. We have to enable drivers to communicate the condition of cars to the car fleet automatically and easily, without the need to run to a specific office administrator telling about scratches and indents in the car. It has to be simple, effective, and user-friendly. And at the same time, we have to enable the fleet administrators to control time and place of every pickup and drop-off of each car, because that's what they demand. They want control of the cars, which until now have been placed somewhere in the car park, but at the same time there was some uncertainty about how they are managed, what the condition is of those cars in real time. And the last step that we wanted to help with was like the full automation of the corporate car sharing process. Like the last leg of the journey was missing, the automation of the key passing and feedback from customers or like drivers. Well, we wanted to bridge this gap. And how does it work today? Well, basically, you just come to a SNIKEYbox. It's as simple as coming to a postal box with a code that allows you to pick up the keys and the documents for a particular car that you have booked in advance. You type it on the screen of our box. If the code is correct, you will get the keys. After getting the keys outside, well, we can record if the keys have been picked up, because it's not a simple box. We equipped it with a set of sensors which allow us and the system to monitor whether the keys are in or not, whether the documents have been picked up, and all the knowledge about the time and condition of those keys is immediately transferred to the fleet administrator. So we can tell who and when picked which car, which is important when you think of big car fleets, big meaning 20, 30, 50 cars and more, with cars in constant move. Suddenly you have to record those steps when you want to find someone responsible for things that happened days ago. So we try to eliminate human errors, but also potential frauds. It's all recorded in a database. What else can we do? We can record the condition of the car, which I mentioned before. The driver has a possibility to let the fleet manager know whether the condition was good or bad before and after the retrieval of a car. And this is done in a very user-friendly way without downloading any apps. You get a message with a simple questionnaire that allows you to tell the administrator exactly what you want to do and what you know about the car, making the responsibility for cars very easy to track. And basically, Sneaky Fleet, as you can see, is a standalone flexible solution which we give to the fleet managers. It can be used as such without any integrations to deliver pickups and drop-offs of small items, such as car keys, but not only. But they can be also adapted to the needs of short-term rental and also can be integrated with other IT systems used by corporate companies.
Exactly, and this is what we did before the entire pandemic happened. Our client is happy with the results. Right now, we are thinking about joint cooperation, how to sell it to the market, because the first box is already there. The client is in the process of ordering the new one, testing how drivers react to it, and ordering a new ones for new locations. But in March, everything went a bit more complicated, and our corporate partner faced new challenges. And out of all the challenges that were there, we started talking together on how the SNIKEYbox can be used in some of them. And the ones that we chose were the ones that you see on the screen right now. So basically, protecting employees and providing them with safe and healthy working environment. So basically, how to minimize the unnecessary contact between employees that are in the headquarters, between people that visit the headquarters, like delivery guys or mailmen. Usually they have to meet someone to deliver the package. And another challenge was basically how to preserve business continuity while facing the new challenges, so trying to minimize unnecessary contact. And then we started discussing, and we are in the process of discussing those challenges all the time, how our solution can answer some of them, or maybe all of them. And this is how we came up with the future of the SNIKEYbox. So what we can do about it? Well, first area where we can, which we can automate, is obviously document exchange between different departments. Right now, there is a need of like minimizing the contact between people. So, you know, like when there is a risk that someone is not feeling well, he doesn't basically potentially infect the entire company within like 24 hours, because he just delivers documents from one department to the other. The other one is coordinating pickups and drop-offs of various items that are exchanged in different departments. For instance, in the entire group that our client is a part of, they have to sometimes exchange small mobile devices, other small items, which basically is similar to document exchange between employees. And this is the other part that we are thinking about automating. Obviously, as I said, delivering official and private packages to the office. If you can leave them or post them via our SNIKEYbox, then there is the contact is minimized. And last but not least, distributing health and safety equipment in the areas of the business of our corporate client that requires distributing such safety equipment. It can also be done and monitored who picked up what and when. This is the, let's say, fifth area that we are discussing right now, how to make SNIKEYbox facilitate all of them. What are the benefits of these? Well, the benefits you could hear probably throughout the entire presentation, and there's no surprise when I just summarize them right now. So basically, first of all, due to the sensors that we installed in the box, we have real-time monitoring of events and actual fact whether somebody just opened the box or whether he actually picked something from the box and it's missing right now, or whether he tried to return something and he returned it successfully because the sensors actually feel it, or he tried to cheat the system and commit fraud and pretend that he left something in the box, but it's not there. So the sensors and the real-time monitoring is one of the most important features that we were working on with our partner, because they want to control what is happening in the automated process. Obviously, notifications for employees confirming that you basically dropped off your documents, or your documents that you wanted someone to pick up are picked up by him. When you have a package, you obviously get a notification. So the entire system of notifying clients, delivery guys, but also administration of some unforeseen events, like there's somebody tried to leave something in the box but it didn't work. This entire part is also a big benefit from the perspective of our corporate partner. Obviously, reporting the condition, Hubert already told you about that, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. But one of the most important things is that we can automate different areas of the organization with the same solution and the same interface. So imagine you can pick up car keys from our box, but you can also deliver a package. You just go to the same interface, you know it, and all the employees don't have to download any apps or 5 different apps, which would be even worse. They just come to one place and they can automate, they can do things that were usually done manually in an automated way. So last but not least, the benefit, we designed the entire part of adjusting SNIKEYbox to the new reality with the main goal of increasing health and safety of our clients' employees and our users. And this is the main goal, which actually was the priority when we started talking about those new challenges that appeared in March in Poland. So basically, we told you about our story and told you about how we want to automate business processes of corporate clients even further. And right now the field is yours. Obviously, take care of yourselves, and any questions are more than welcome.
Thank you, Mateusz. Thank you, Hubert. It was really interesting presentation. It was really nice to hear about this app and how it can be useful not only during these uncertain times, but well, it is the future, right? And it can make the life easier for a lot of people. So thank you for presenting this. And I see some first questions. So the first one is, what is the effective way for a startup to collaborate with corporates from your experience?
Well, to be honest, it might sound that I'm bragging, but programs like FundingBox was very effective for us. It depends on the will of the corporate partner to collaborate with the startup, but we wouldn't be able to get to this level, the high level of management that quickly without the facilitation of FundingBox. So thank you guys for that. But if you don't have a program like FundingBox, well, basically, I think what worked for us is that the client had a need, and we showed them that we can fulfill this need with our product, and we convinced them. So they saw a business opportunity for themselves and actually benefits from themselves from our vision of what we can do with them.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And there is one more question. Since small items like keys, badges, etc., can to some extent be digitalized, like open a door with a smartphone, how do you think you will have to evolve?
What we thought about this, I mean, we discussed this many times, that at one point some said that you can open anything electronically, but then we faced economic reality that in many cases, especially when it comes to cars, the profitability depends on how little you invest in a particular car. And what we can offer, exchanging car keys physically, is a much more economically sound solution for a car fleet, rather than investing in individual electronic devices that control each car separately. I mean, the cost difference is huge. That was the basic calculation. And thinking about the profit margins of our customers, the decision is up to them whether they want to invest in something that can be achieved traditionally at a much more cost-effective way. You cannot go to the level of costs thinking about installing an electronic lock in an apartment or an electronic device in a car, in each car or apartment separately. So that's where we came in, and even we thought about, should we perhaps skip this analog part? No, we just needed to adapt it to the needs of our customers who demanded this solution, and confirm that this still has a long path ahead of us, or of it.
Yeah, but in terms of how we would think about evolution, obviously at some point, we don't know when, but at some point, we will probably have to say, okay, now the technology to remotely open cars, doors, and everything is so cheap that it doesn't make any more sense to, for instance, use SNIKEYbox to exchange car keys. And thinking about this, we already think about different markets where you can use SNIKEYbox, not maybe for car keys, but for other things. And some of the ideas we shared with you today, some of them are still at the back of our heads. But also, it doesn't mean that at some point we will work more on the interface of reserving cars, managing cars, and the exchange of keys will not be there. So maybe SNIKEYbox will be used for something else. But who says that we cannot provide the system to electronically open the cars via our app? So
the interface will be already there, yeah, our customers.
And our customers are already there. So it's the matter of just evolving and working on new technology and providing it to our clients. At this point, economically, it's not reasonable for our client and many other areas and clients that we talk to right now, potential clients. But in the future, it might change, and we will have to evolve and adapt. And we are already thinking about it. We already were thinking about it, as Hubert said, when we were making our hardware. So what is going to be the next step? We don't have the clear strategy because we are observing the market, seeing how it changes. But there are some ideas that we'll probably have to pick up sooner or later.
Okay, thank you so much. I see that was all. That was all questions. So thank you, Hubert. Thank you, Mateusz, for finding a time to be with us today. So, and take care of yourself, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for organizing the event. See you guys.
Bye-bye. Take care.